hello, Jean-Pascal Bobst. Thank you for having us here in your headquarters here in Lausanne, Switzerland. I think this is called your competence center as well. So yes. Thank you for having us. And maybe I know you can tell us a bit more about yourself and how did you actually end up in the pilot seat here at Bobst, so to say.
Thank you very much for coming here and being with me today. It's a real pleasure to be able to share a bit the history, the present and the future of the group. To the question, where do I come from? Basically, I'm the fourth generation. So you imagine you have a long-lasting history with nice opportunities and big challenges. And as a mechanical engineer, I always was passionate about the industry. But then you ask your question, is it because your dad or the family is here, or is it really your passion and your life focus? After a small career in Schindler, the elevator, a couple of years, then I decided to join the group. And
when was that? When was that?
That was in 1994. And then we moved to the US a couple of years, and then coming back here to Switzerland. So I took the role of CEO in 2009 during the big crisis in May 2009. And then since then, we are reshuffling the vision and the strategy of the group. So
Bobst was like created or by your ancestors in 1890. So yeah, so
130 years.
Yeah, 130 exactly. Yes. this year. Congratulations on that. But in that respect, I guess we have had several industrial revolutions since, and Bobst has been there and witnessed them all. So now we're coming, and we saw it also here yesterday in the factory and so on. So we're now in the fourth industrial revolution, which they call the smart industry. So how is Bobst actually taking this, and what are your strategies to give the answers for this new fourth revolution?
We just launched in June our new vision of the industry, of this digitalization, connectivity, automation and sustainability. But before talking about that vision, I think Bobst went through all the major challenges of the industry globally with innovations, with a lot of work and sometimes a lot of pain, because you try but you not always succeed. But overall, because we have a long-term strategy, we have a long-term willingness of investment and being part of the industry, we were always able to succeed and come up with the right product for our clients.
If you say your clients, you have your roles always been in direct contact with a lot of your clients, and to hear in the market what is some of their problems they have. So what kind of solutions would you say your customers are wanting from Bobst now at this moment? So what kind of solutions do they need? More than before, you would say?
Yeah, I guess 10 years, 20 years ago, we were talking about speed, throughput of the equipment itself. Today, what they want is the right equipment for the shorter runs with the full control of the quality of the product which runs through the supply chain. And this is where we have to work a lot, is to really move from a machine supplier to a global solution which will enable our customers to have a connected factory and not individual machines isolated, which makes their life very complex.
So I guess what you just said, the strategy or the four different elements, connectivity, digitalization, automation, sustainability, they are the key factors of that strategy. Absolutely. Where you provide solutions for the smart packaging, really. I think it is. So, and in that respect, in that new technology, we saw that the BOBST Connect, which actually is the heart, I would say, of that philosophy. So in that respect, we also see a lot happening with the IoT, industrial, the industrial Internet of Things. So how do you think that is impacting your business for BOBST, actually, the IoT element?
But IoT is fully part of the BOBST Connect, is fully part of our strategy. Those are pieces. All these are a little bit buzzword, if you allow me to say so. What we tried to develop is really the concept, which is from the PDF, create a twin PDF, which means help our client already in the design phase to say what is the optimum of the design to go through the various production chain. Is it gravure? Is it flexo? Is it offset? Is it digital printing? Is it hybrid? Which stream is not, one is better than the others. It depends what you want to achieve. So we really want, with the IoT as well, which is really the connectivity and the understanding of learning. IoT is mainly learning how our products are performing based upon theoretical throughput and productivity and the reality in the end of our machines.
So as you said, clients are now more in the market also for end-to-end solutions. So I guess this is something that you provide. But for this element, the IT solutions, is that also something? Because the heavy machinery you do in-house, like the IT and software part of your solutions, is that also something that you do in-house, or do you work with partners?
Yeah, so you asked earlier the question about how BOBST manage these revolutions. And this is another revolution for BOBST. 4 years ago, we were not able to really make data front-end or workflows. In IoT, we had, let's say, just connectivity with machine to troubleshoot, but not more. And we couldn't make our own inks chemistry for digital printing. Today at BOBST, we have embedded these resources, these competences, to be able to provide better global solutions to our clients. So yes, we will not do all internally, but we want to understand the core of these competences, these solutions, and working with partners sometimes to be able to understand the real pain points of our clients and coming with the best solution.
Knowing this, what do you think that the main challenges are for BOBST still, for example, in the next 3 years to come? In what fields will BOBST be facing those challenges, to your mind?
In these challenges, you have 3 major pillars. One is in the internal transformation, then they see the transformation with our clients, and then they see the transformation of the digitalization of the packaging supply chain, so with the brand owners. So, of course, in these 3 layers, we have a variety of priorities and resources allocated, trying to develop a comprehensive pieces of a solutions, because you cannot go all in once over the next 3 to 5 years. Now, to your question, the biggest one is certainly leading transformation, helping our employees to learn new functions, new activities, new skills, because this is what the market and the technology is pushing us to do. So,
in that respect, you're speaking also about new profiles for probably your own staff, but also staff at your clients who will have to work with those new solutions that you provide. So here, maybe also a little bit in regard to COVID as well, would you say that this is the right moment that you have the BOBST Connect? Because right at this moment, you have a lot of clients that you help remotely. So when did you actually start with the idea for the Connect strategy?
So first of all, connectivity on machines exists already for more than 20 years. So that's not new to connect and troubleshoot. What is new in BOBST Connect is not BOBST connection, is connectivity of data flow, so it's a cloud. And these applications on cloud base, we started this development 3 years ago to further develop software, so SaaS, so our clients can really use these applications to optimize their machines. So this is an evolution. It's a revolution for Bobst. It's an evolution for the industry. And as you know, we are servicing 4 industries: label, folding carton, film, flexible material, and corrugated. And each industry has also its own path of evolutions. Some are much more advanced towards digitalization than others. So also there we need to adjust our offering and to answer the market request right now.
Yes. As you were saying, Bobst, of course, is in the packaging industry. But what specific types of this market do you cover? Do you cover everything or what are the specific markets that you think will prosper and maybe some others will have more difficulties maybe in the next 3 to 4 years as well? Maybe I'm thinking about flexography. What's your point of view on that?
Flexo film. You speak about the film.
On the film, yeah.
The plastic application.
Yeah, exactly. And also in regard to sustainability.
Absolutely.
What is one of the key points in your strategy?
So I think the industry which is taking on the fastest the digitization and connectivity is label, because our friends, our competitors today, such as HP, Xicon and others, they entered the digitization already 10, 15, 18 years ago. Mm-hmm. So this industry is evolving rapidly and will embark very good and fast solutions. Mm-hmm. Regarding to folding carton and corrugated, those are more traditional businesses, but due to shorter lead time and also due to this pandemic today, COVID and so on, we see the clients looking for solutions which will enable them to change their business models. So I think we will see an acceleration of the digitalization of these 2 industries, which are very conservative. Mm-hmm. And finally, in flexible material, everybody speaks about sustainability, but guess what? Folding carton also has to think sustainability, because if you laminate folding carton with an aluminum foil, the folding carton is not sustainable. Yeah. So in the film industry or flexible material industry will remain very long because they need this time on the shelf, and they need to be conservative and kept for a long time. Otherwise, if you put that in corrugated or folding carton, it will not sustain. Mm-hmm. But what we do on that is really the development or joint development with suppliers on recyclable product. And end of last year, we launched recyclable, flexible material product.
Which the raw materials.
With the right raw materials. Mm-hmm. So you can print, you can laminate, you can have exactly the right pouch, but then you can take this pouch and put it in a recycling process overall. Now the supply chain should exist. The rules and regulations should be put in place so people can recycle, like the paper, no problem. But this is also a question of responsibility of each and every consumer. Mm-hmm. How do we use plastic? Do we just scrap it on the street, or do we put in the bin and then the bin goes into the right recycling process?
Wow. Yeah, so it's clear that it's one of the major points in your visions, that sustainability has to be all around, and that even it's good to hear that even Bobst is like working on the raw material side of things, so chemical side of things really also, yes. And not only the heavy machinery. So it's a novelty for me. So it's something I applaud you for, because I think it's really necessary.
It's a novelty for us too.
Yeah, well, yeah. So that's excellent. So maybe, what do you think? Maybe one of the last questions: what the future will hold for Bobst? Do you have a wish, or do you have like a vision where you want to see Bobst, like, let's say, in the next 100 years to come? do you this may be a long shot, but do you have a personal vision for Bobst?
I guess the personal vision for Bobst is representative into 3 or 4 dimensions. First of all, we should be a preferred supplier from our clients and the digital packaging from a human perspective, from a relationship, from a trust perspective, because I do believe this is the most difficult aspect to grow and to build with each client. And this is the most competitive dimension as well, because without trust you do nothing. Then for the group is to be able to have the means to innovate and go through these connected, automated, digitalized processes, and that will encompass all products. Within the next 5 to 10 years, the market will change drastically. So we are putting a lot of means to achieve this vision. And last is basically that the group can provide a sustainable, profitable growth and returns, because without financial it's tough.
That's the basics.
And that basically we can also have an ambitious return of capital, because this is what everybody is looking for, to keep jobs in Europe, to keep jobs where we have the brains, but being also in Americas, in Indias, in Asia, in China. But the globalization is needed, but the regional strategy is becoming more and more important, and this is where we want to go.
Excellent. So maybe my last question here. You said Bobst this year is 130 years of existence. So if I'm not mistaken, it's always has been run with family of Bobst, who was
not quite.
No.
For almost 20 years, we had executive CEO not part of the family.
Okay, right.
Yes. My predecessor was not the family member.
Okay, right. But before that, it was all Bobst
Yes.
family. So maybe in that regard, or in that respect, is that something that you look forward to, maybe already to the next generation, or is that a legacy that you see that you want to continue here for Bobst, having like a family member at the head of Bobst, maybe after you?
Certainly the 5th generation is part of the journey. We have the pleasure to have already 4 members in the company, so starting their journey and their career. To have a family member on running the business is not a goal in itself. If we have the capabilities, we will do so, and otherwise we will find the best talent to continue to lead this great company.
Excellent. Well, anyway, Jean-Pascal, thank you so much for your time and for hosting us here at Bobst. So I hope we will meet again soon when there are probably more innovative stuff to report from. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
And
thank you.
See you soon.
Thank you. See you soon.
Bye-bye.